Guys, what's up?
We're back.
We're always going to be back.
All right.
This one, toxic foods.
Yeah, we're going to go into the first subject here. And the reason that you're purging toxic food from your system is so important is because it literally puts a veil between you and God. You have so much of that drudge between you and God and your connection to God. Your gut health is the epicenter of your health. That's where your intuition is and everything. So when you have all of these poisons on top of your gut and in your body and your pineal gland and all of these places in your body, how can you even think that you could have a connection with your soul and that which created you in all things? You can't. It's too clouded. So the first thing we need to do is purge the things that you're consuming so that you can take your power back, because the hardest thing for you to have willpower and control is what you put inside of your body. They have all of these marketing materials to get you to act upon things, all of these different flavors that are unnatural that your body becomes addicted to, not only the flavor, but the actual chemical that it induces inside of your body. All of those things were specifically designed to harm you, and do it slowly so you would not know about it. And it helps them keep you blind, disconnected, unaware of anything. And so when you get a cold or you get a disease or you get something that was clearly created from what you consume, you go, well, I just need to go get a pill from the pharmaceuticals instead of actually changing what caused it to begin with.
Here's the thing. Anything that you experience, disease, illness, sickness, the only way you get that is through two ways. Literally contact with other blood. It gets inside of you, right? Blood gets into your bloodstream, or you ingest it, which still ends up in your bloodstream. So the only way you can catch anything is if you actually eat it. You're not going to catch something by just walking around it. Like, it has to be something that gets inside of you that you digest, and it gets in through your body. So your body processes it. So that's why that food is one of the biggest ways people are actually getting sick.
It's the biggest way that they can attack us.
Yeah. Mine is, the toxic air that people are breathing in through the chemicals that they're spraying and like all the chemtrails, all that stuff. And then the water that people drink with the fluoride. And if you don't know what fluoride is, it's a toxic waste. It's literally, they can't even get rid of it. Right. I think it was sometime in like the 80s or the 90s. I don't remember how early it happened. They had caves of fluoride, and it was so toxic to the cave system. So all of it, the government's not allowed to burn it. They're not allowed to get rid of it. It's toxic waste. So what they did was they dumped it in water. And you can go research this, how they decided to just throw it into the water supply because they thought it would, they try to find a natural way to get rid of it without telling the masses about it. So they say, hey, let's put it in the water and nobody's going to notice. And it's flavorless. You can't taste it. You can't see it. You can't feel it. But what ends up happening is when you ingest
when you're desensitized, you can't feel it. When you're sensitized, which is going to happen here, you will feel it.
Yeah, it calcifies your pineal gland. It cuts off your source to God. It makes you, it gives you like a fluoride stare. You get lost in a lot of things that have no importance. You essentially become like a frozen computer just sitting there. And
they call it the fluoride stare because you talk about something that is actually relevant to life. And you get this look of, huh? That doesn't even make sense, or they don't even get what you're saying at all.
So it's a big thing. Like, your diet is one of the biggest things that you have to change. And I think that's going to be a big thing for every single person that's watching this that took the challenge is your diet. And you guys all know it. I mean, it's common sense. Like, look at the first thing right here, fast food. I mean, like, we all know intuitively fast food is garbage because of how it makes you feel.
Not even just how it makes you feel. Look at how they package it, and like, it's not even kept in there's nothing energetically charging about any of that could actually feed your soul.
Yeah, like fast food, you could leave out a plate of McDonald's on a plate in your house and it will never mold or decompose. because it's chemically processed. But if you go grab an apple, you take a bite of an organic apple from a tree and you let it sit for several minutes, you will start to see it oxidize. It starts to turn brown. That's the starting process of decomposition. That's the natural process of life. Same thing with the body. If somebody dies, what's going to happen to the body? Is it just going to sit there in a perfect state the way it died for all eternity? Or is it going to start decomposing and going back to earth the way it came?
Yeah.
That's just the process. So if something is obviously not decomposing or it's not molding, like all fast food does, you probably shouldn't eat it. But people eat it because it's so publicly pushed.
And not
it's
just
so
that,
normal.
they have them addicted to the chemicals in the food,
Yep.
like drug addicts. But let me clarify something real quick so you can see like why your diet is so important on a soul level. You are an electric being, okay? That is your soul. Your soul is electric. That soul can either be amplified, charged up, or drained, okay? Everything that we do here in our entire life is either going to charge it or drain it. If it charges it, we get more life, meaning we will live longer, we will be healthier, we will have higher quality of life. If it drains it, it kills us slower.
Yep.
So it takes away our lifespan, it takes away our quality of life, all of it. So when we are feeding ourselves, we don't look at the body first like most of mankind does, and what science and all of this shit does. Says, look at the body. This is what you feed the body. Well, the body is just the vessel, the vehicle for the soul to be here and experience the physical realm. If you want a healthy body, you got to have a healthy soul, period. That's where it starts. Your choices, your actions, your thoughts and feelings, everything that you do starts in the ether, the ethereal realm, the spirit realm that everybody talks about. That's where it starts at. So you have to take proactive measures of feeding your body electric things. And that's not just your food, that goes to your mental diet too, which will go in a further video. But that is the importance. If you see a vulture, it's going to not eat a dead carcass on the side of the road after 3 days because there's no electrical charge. That vulture doesn't need a mouth or a mind to go, you know what, maybe this does feed me or maybe it doesn't. Its program knows that serves no purpose to it. Even the animal kingdom knows what is electric and what is not. And we cannot compare ourselves to a lion, a tiger, a zebra, a gorilla, or anything else in the animal kingdom. They have their own algorithm. They have their own form and function and programs that are running. So do we. So there can never be a comparison between the two. If you want to go, well, that gorilla is strong because it eats plants, or that carnivore is fast because it eats an animal. I want to be that. You can't do that. There is a specific diet that was designed for us, and it is of life-bearing nature, meaning it is electric and is going to amplify our light body.
So let's look at some of the other things on the list: sugar, chemically processed foods, dairy items, and meats. So sugar is completely there to just dry you out. It's a false rush. It's a false energetic rush to make you feel. It's essentially a drug. It is a drug.
It's worse than cocaine.
It's literally
cocaine.
worse than cocaine. It's more addicting than cocaine, and it alters your thought process. You get energy and then you crash. It literally is like it's like you're using nitrous on a car, but every time you use nitrous, it burns the engine and it actually hurts the car every time you use it. So it's like the chemically processed food. That's all things that are fast food related.
Things on store shelves in the grocery store.
Yep. Things that were not from, let's just say anything that's not from a plant. It's specifically like you can't just grow if it's not just pulled right off of the plant itself and you eat it right there.
It's not a whole food. It's not a whole, then it's chemically processed.
And you know, it's even messed up. They even do have chemically processed plants too.
Yeah.
They have GMO plants. They have sprayed chemicals and pesticides that they throw onto it so that it meets the FDA standards so that people can ingest it to get rid of diseases that they are making themselves.
Yeah.
And then dairy items one thing that a lot of the biggest reason why people get sick is because you get mucus in your body. All right. Mucus is that phlegm, that stuff that goes into your sinuses, the back of your throat, and you spit it up. That it's a harboring nest of all bacteria. And what happens is when you have a lot of mucus in your lungs, in your nasal cavities, throughout your body, your bloodstream, whatever, the bacteria builds up and it clogs certain things from naturally flowing. Like you're taking a bunch of rock, like you're just throwing a rock into a thin stream and you're just blocking the natural flow of just your blood, your oxidation levels, everything. And it's backing up the whole thing, creating a dam. And what happens when you build up a dam? Certain parts of your that used to have a bunch of water starts to dry up, starts to die out, right? A lot of people create dams so they can control the water flow to stop certain areas of being maybe over flooded or whatnot, or harming places that people are living. But if you look at the ideology of just a dam in general, it's a natural flowing stream of water. So when you disrupt that, you're disrupting nature. So when you are putting chemicals and dairy and all these fake ass foods inside your body, you're causing up blockages and harboring nests for things to build up. You're causing still water. Like, for example, if you're out in the wild and you're thirsty and you need something to drink, you don't drink still water, because still water harbors disease. This is where mosquitoes actually will grow. They can't lay eggs in water if it's constantly moving, right? You don't want to drink, because that's when things start to sit and they rest and they get old, right? That's swamps. It's disgusting. You don't want to be in it. But if it's free flowing, let's say from a mountain going down the rocks, it's collecting the minerals off of it. You are gathering up flowing natural life water that is actually beneficial for your body. It's more beneficial than you get the water from the stores. But people don't look at it like that. They don't see that because it's not as easy to attainable. They made it hard to get. But the point is, all of this stuff causes mucus. And when you get that mucus in you, this is where you get sick. You get the cold, you get cancer, you get leukemia, heart disease. Go look at people that have heart disease, one of the number 3 killers in the world. A heart diseased heart has fat and lard all over it. That's from mucus. That's all from mucus. And dairy, the moment you even drink dairy, you have a buildup of mucus.
Before you even
instantly.
drink it, just getting it, you smell it.
Dr. Robert Morse. If you guys don't know who Dr. Robert Morse is, he's a guy who's he's an alkaline doctor, knows how the body works, knows what to put in your body, what not to put in your body, kind of like a Dr. Sabi, but he's still alive. The moment you go to drink the milk, your senses already know that it's not a part of your system, right? So our conscious mind takes over the subconscious mind, which is also our intuitive body, right? It's all synergetically connected. And we drink it anyway, even though we feel the congestion, right? After you take that sip, you're like, ugh. You get that phlegmy taste in the back of your throat. That's what dairy causes. And that goes throughout your whole body. So if it's causing that in your throat automatically, just imagine what it's doing to all the rest of your body, your internal organs, your digestive system, your intestines, your liver, your pancreas, your all of it, your heart, your lungs. Like, it's causing mucus and it's getting you sicker, but you drink it because they publicize it. They put it all over cartons. They mass market it as like a sub thing for cereal. You put it in your cereal. You put it in your coffee. You put it in your teas. They make it. They don't just go out and push milk. They do that, but they make things. They put other things in your life that you love, and they make it a subconscious program to think, oh, when I have this, I have milk. So I'm going to drink that with it, because that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah. And they've taken away common sense.
Yep.
Common sense tells me that my milk that is specific towards me and best for me comes from my mother, not from a cow, not from a goat, or it comes from my other mother, which is Mother Earth. That is the only place I should be getting milk. I should not be getting it from a cow that its milk was literally coded and designed to only do what that calf needed. That milk doesn't know what a human needs. It wasn't designed to do that.
Nope.
So therefore, it can't give you what you need. And that's where the lactose intolerance comes from. Your body is naturally trying to tell you that it doesn't want that milk. It's not supposed to be there.
And let's go even deeper for a second. Cows are man-made, but nobody knows that because it's been going along. They are the byproduct of a yak and a bison. They are not a naturally occurring animal in the wild. Where in the world do you go see a wild cow? You don't see wild cows. The only cows you see are on farms, free range, whatever, but they are owned by somebody. There are no wild cows in Africa. There's no wild cows in Montana or South Carolina or Hawaii. There is none.
What he's saying is they're not naturally occurring. Someone somewhere had to have put them where they are. Even if you do find one in the wild, it came from some human.
Somebody put it there. Like zebras are naturally occurring.
And there are a lot of things that this is why this is so important, because there are a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that God did not design.
Oh.
That were designed by man trying to play God. So go ahead.
There's a guy on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Think about this for a second. Right? If it's anything altered genetically,
an abomination.
An abomination, right? It is abomination from God. You are playing God's role. He coded all of our genes.
He made it perfect, and we all screwed it up.
We start playing. There's a guy on TikTok that has, I don't know, a few million followers, I think, who literally will take suggestions that his followers make and say, hey, can you splice the genes between this animal and create an entirely new hybrid animal? And he creates it and then either keeps it or releases it into the wild.
Yeah.
And you now have an abomination going into the wild, gonna do whatever the fuck it's gonna do. Some of it, and here's the thing, I'm not saying all of the animals are bad. Some of them are cute. Some of them
that doesn't make them good.
I know. I'm not saying that, but I'm not trying to also demonize it. So like they're gonna kill every single person.
That demon is adorable. Don't you touch it.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're gonna kill every single human, but it's the concept of man is playing God. And they are releasing it into the wild. And then eventually, let's say time passes on and enough of them start reproducing. Eventually, someone's going to find that animal and be like, whoa, we have a new species. It must have came from God because it didn't come from me. So it's, wow. And then everybody starts believing that they are from the wild. When
and all it takes is
just put in there.
Look, all it takes is them to do this in a lab and then pay somebody to put out accredited reports and studies about it.
Credited.
This new animal. And then everybody's like, whoa, look at this new animal. And the whole time it's some shit they made in a lab that was never supposed to be made. And then we are like, great job, guys, for playing God.
Yep.
No, it's not a great job.
Nope.
Anyways, let's go further and get through this video. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer.
I say we skip sodas and snack food because that kind of entitles chemically processed.
And another thing they need to realize that we didn't cover is there is a company, you need to look this up, called, I think it's Siminex or Cinemix or something like that. It starts with an S. I will figure it out and put it under this video because I can put a link there. But that company has a contract with people like Kraft and Pepsi and Aunt Jemima and Doritos and Gatorade and man, there's just so many more. I'll get you the list of it.
Brand names.
But all of these big brand names, they use a artificial flavoring, but they don't tell you what this artificial flavoring is. And that artificial flavoring is baby fetus. Yep. And one thing that they don't tell you, when you consume the DNA of a child or anyone, it messes with your own DNA. So if you, and men are more easily manipulated with their DNA than women are. That's why you see more feminine men now that are confused about their gender and think that they are gay when they're really not. They're just manipulated from their nature. And this is a hard thing for someone to have to wake up from, that You mean to tell me that I was poisoned my entire life from the womb out? I was poisoned. And because of that, that is why I make the choices that I make. That is why I choose the partner that I've chose. My whole life is a lie. Are you kidding me? That's not fun to wake up from. And I feel for anybody that has to wake up from that. I'm not telling you to change anything. I'm telling you to accept the truth here that you have been manipulated. So think about that when you go to feed your child all of these foods that they put on the shelf, and then they got all these fancy colors and these, cute advertisements that can lure your children into it. If you start your children off with a healthy diet and they don't know what these things are, like Wisdom, we take him to the grocery store and he can look at anything on the shelf and just be like, whatever. You take him to the produce aisle,
He lights up.
He starts yelling with excitement and pointing at everything because he knows what all the fruit and veggies are.
Yep.
That's what he knows.
So
anyway, household cleaners.
I was going to say, well, we didn't touch on that.
Meats.
I was going to say, so meats. So like one thing you touched on is that a vulture won't touch it after 3 days, which is true. Right. But if you look at our biology and you compare it to a lion, right? A lion is a carnivore. Okay. It is designed to eat meat. It is designed to hunt and to kill. Their teeth are designed. They don't have molars, right? Like us. Molars are designed to chomp and grind because of the plant-like structure of the biology of the foods that we're supposed to eat. We're supposed to bite and then grind with our teeth and swallow. A lion is designed to tear at a flesh and rip. Mm-hmm. Right? They don't have molars to sit there and just decide to chew on the textures of what the meat they're eating, because meat is not like the meat texture is not the same as a plant or a fruit.
You can see them not even chew up their food and swallow a big piece whole, and it still won't. Whole,
because that's their bodies. That's how they're designed to eat the meat. They tear, they bite, they tear, and then they take a swallow, and that's how they eat. Chew and chew and chew. They'll chew as much as their fangs will allow them to, and then they swallow it. But us, we have to chew until it's small enough for our small throats to digest, right? So there's that biological standpoint that we are completely not supposed to be eating meat. Two, our intestines, okay? Our intestines are about 20 to 22 feet long. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's about 20, 22 feet, small intestine, then you have the large intestine. So we got a long intestine. A carnivore, a lion, and don't quote me on this, has anything about, I think it's like 9 to 12 feet. Okay. That's a big difference when it comes to digesting your food, because when you are eating something and you have a small intestine small intestines, the food that you're eating it's in you and then it's out. It is very quick and it's getting the nutrients it needs. So for example,
before it ejects it.
Yep. So for a lion eating the raw meat of like a dead gazelle that is just killed fresh, it's getting the nourishment it wants from that meat. It's digesting it quickly. And then before the meat inside of them starts to decay, because yes, your food can decay inside your intestines if it's in there too long, especially meat, because it's organic. And what happens when you eat things that are organic like that? It will just start to decompose right then and there. It will then go through its system and it will poop it out very fast, because that's what it's designed to do. Now for humans, when we eat meat, we have to go through that same process of what the animal is, but instead of it actually being raw and fresh killed, it's killed. Then it takes they take days to process it. It goes through the hands of some butcher, right? And you'll go through the energetic part of that. It goes to the hands of some butcher. And then before you even get it in your body, it has been already dead and moved around from place to place for about 2 weeks, right? Then you eat it. And in order for them to keep it from decomposing, they have to fill it with chemicals so it doesn't decompose. They have to be able to make it edible so they can make a profit. How can you eat something, or how can the companies make profit if what they're killing and grabbing is automatically bad after the first week or first few days of it being dead? They can't sell it. So they have to alter it in order for them to maintain the purity of it, the cleanliness of it, right? The organicness of it. So
he's being sarcastic with those words.
So that's what the quotations are. So that they could sell it to the people weeks later and still make money off of it. Okay. That's the only reason we even go through that. Other than that, please go outside right now go kill the meat. A normal person, right? A trained person that grew up in like maybe like a redneck area or up in the woods where they're just taught that you have to kill, you eat what you kill, and that's how they grew up. Let's go look at just modern day people right now. Like, forget those types of people. Let's look at the person that has to look, that goes out and is a normal everyday person and doesn't just go out and kill things every day to survive. They have their normal routine. Are you going to take the gun or the knife and kill the pig in order to get your fresh bacon right there and then? Are you going to do it?
The best analogy you have is of the child. If you give the child the food,
give a child a bowl of fruit
and a
pig, a little pig, a piglet,
and see which one they eat.
See which one they eat first. Wait, what is their senses naturally going to go towards? Of course, the fruit. Because that's what we're programmed to do. We're programmed to eat the fruit. You're not going to go look at another living entity, a sentient being, and just, oh man, them ears though. I need them hooves.
Yeah, you're not going to walk in on a baby just, going all zombie on a pig. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
but people sit here and justify how they have to kill it or, humanely, right? Yeah. Because the animal's like, I'm totally down to die so you can eat me. Like, I was born for this. I feel so ready. Yeah. Give them an option. Let's see which one they pick. Life or death.
Totally not going to go to death.
They're not going to pick death. If you see every animal that ever dies, they even have to blind them sometimes just so that they don't realize they're about to die.
Yeah.
Like, they don't
they're
know
trying
this,
to fight it.
right?
Their senses know what's coming.
So don't listen. Don't think like, oh, we're sitting here defending the animals and we're all pro animal. Like, we're more pro-human.
We're pro-order,
pro-life,
natural, pro-original. That's what we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have, I'm sorry, I'm still talking, but it was the intestines I went off. But when that meat is inside your intestines, after a certain amount of time, because I think it takes several hours for meat to digest inside your system. That's a long time compared to like 2 hours for like a carnivore. It's in it and it's out. It's literally that fast. But for us, when we eat meat, on top of all the other foods like carbohydrates or big or certain fats, when we combine all these foods together, it actually slows the process down because certain foods actually digest faster than the rest. Like if you go out and eat a bowl of fruit right now, that is going to digest hell of a lot faster than some meat you just ate. Because it's a naturally recurring, it's digestible, it's in and out. It's the simple sugars. Your body is programmed to break it down. Your body knows
how to break it down.
It knows how to break it down. That's why it's really good for you. Same thing with certain vegetables. Not all vegetables, some of them are man-made. Got to look out for ones that have no seeds, but certain ones are easily digestible. So like if you, for example, you don't want to mix, and I used to do this all the time, like oatmeal takes about an hour to digest. Right? Everyone knows what oatmeal is. Fruit takes about 20 minutes. So what happens is, and this is coming from Robert Morse, when you decide to eat oatmeal with fruit, you are taking something that takes an hour to digest and mixing it with something that takes 20 minutes to digest. When that 20-minute fruit is mixed with it, it will now also take an hour to digest and be not meant to be in your body for that long. It starts to release these gases that create a drunken state. Right. And he told a story of how an older man and his wife, older guy always loves his fruits and his vegetables and his oatmeal. And one day I think he had to go out to the store or something, and he decided to eat a bowl of fruit with some oatmeal. And he has never drank a day in his life. He's never been drunk or never got DUIs, nothing. He decided to drink or eat the fruit and the oatmeal. And then about 20 minutes later, go out driving. He got pulled over. And he got a DUI, and they called his wife and it's like, hey, we just arrested your husband for a DUI. And she starts laughing. He's like, that man has never drank anything in his life. What are you guys talking about? And they come to find out it's because it's the gases and the chemicals released of a decaying fruit that's not supposed to be in your body for that long. So it made him drunk. When he blew into the breathalyzer, he was drunk. Like that's a thing. So and those are vegetables and fruits, right? So just not knowing how to put the right fruits and the vegetables and even the good foods together can cause imbalances in your body and it harms you. So you have to, this is why people end up eating like soup. Like if you go look at the healthiest people in the world, they're very raw, plant-based eaters. That's it. And they don't combine a lot of things. They eat, it's so simple. It'll be, you just be looking at it like that's the most boring diet. But when it comes to clarity or cleanliness and simplicity of just how your body is easily able to digest it, it is the most efficient way. So take that aspect of mixing things that are not supposed to be mixed. Now you're adding meat and your body's not even supposed to digest it. And you're eating all these other things with it. So you're taking several hours to digest something that's not even supposed to be in your system with things that are supposed to be in your system, putting your body in total imbalance, creating all of these releases.
Chaos.
Like, and then you start and your body reacts. How does it react to get rid of it? You get sick.
How does your phone react when you have too many tabs open on your phone?
It goes slow. It lags.
Yeah, that's your body. Yeah, exactly.
Your body starts to lag.
So another point as far as the meat goes, and then we're going to move on from there so we can hurry up and finish this video.
This is like a longer video because this is a very passionate part for us.
It's very important. So another aspect of the meat is the energy. So when he was talking about, we were talking about the buzzard,
about the energy.
Yeah, the buzzard won't touch it because it doesn't have electrical charge. So imagine this, you have, say it's free range and you killed the animal yourself, because everybody will come to me with, well, I don't eat that stuff from the store. I eat my animals off my farm. Okay. All right. Sure. But that animal just suffered trauma when you killed it.
It was humane. It was humane, and it didn't feel a thing.
Yeah, but you don't die without a soul trauma wound.
Yep.
And that is an energetic field. So whenever you have now killed that animal and then you go butcher it, if you're not in the best high vibe state whenever you do that, whatever is going on inside of you, whatever chaos you have inside of you, whatever dis-ease going on inside of you is now imprinted into that meat. So the meat that didn't have any electrical charge, now you're charging it up with all kind of nastiness. Okay. And if it's not you that killed it or it's coming from the store, then it went to the butcher, who probably hates his job and takes out his anger on these dead animals. So he's putting his imprint in there, and you're consuming all that nasty energy to your soul, which is putting that dis-ease inside of you and then creating disease in your physical body. Now, it's doesn't just stop there. It doesn't just stop at the butcher putting energy in it. Now, who's cooking the food? What kind of attitude they have? I've walked away from people that are just in a shit mood when they go to prepare my food. I'm sorry. I'm not going to consume your bullshit today. I'm just not going to. I care about myself more than that. So think about all the factors of the energy imprint that is going into that food before you consume it. And when this first starts, you kind of like, you see it for what it is. You see the veil drop and you're like, I don't even want to eat anything. What do I eat? I'm starving.
Yeah, this is where a lot of people start to, one version of them breaking is like, fuck, I don't know what to eat.
And I'm so hungry.
And I'm hungry. All I know is to do is cook this chicken or that meat and mix it with this. It's because you've built up a habit. That's all it is. You have built up a recurring program. So you don't have to think about it anymore. That's why you keep doing it, because it's so simple.
Yeah. So
reprogram yourself.
Underneath this video, we're going to give you a food guide. This is going to be something you can take to the grocery store with you to help you get the food that you need to be consuming. 2 will be the recipe book that is going to help you put all the food that you just purchased together into some healthy meals for yourself to help you during your transition. And then we'll also put the detox down there and all of the other information, the meal plan, to help you map out your meal plan for the rest of your life. It's something you can build forever on. Another thing, going into, to finish off what we're talking about here, household cleaners. These are toxic. You shouldn't even be walking down an aisle of cleaners at the grocery store at all without a hazmat suit on. I won't go near them. If I even come, I'll walk around the whole store to stay away from it.
Do you know, like, for example, like, let's say one of the most common household cleaners, Lysol. Okay. Let's go look at what's on it. And you will see one of the main ingredients, coronavirus. It's literally on it. For what is inside the ingredients is coronavirus. You are spraying a literal disease. It's a bacteria thinking it's going to kill 99.9% of your germs when it's
What?
actually hurting your immune
It's
system.
killing your hand sanitizers that they have everybody using. That is killing 99.9% of your good bacteria that is fighting for you.
Like you're like, for example, how do babies get immune systems? What do babies do all the time when they're clueless? If you go look at a baby right now, it's probably putting its hand in its mouth, or it's probably taking something off the
A
ground and
baby's
putting
immune
it
system is built through its mother's milk.
through its milk, but it's also built because of its
Yeah,
touching everything and then it's putting it towards its
You're
mouth.
putting in a new processor that's never experienced or touched any
So-
of this. So that processor has to do the work. It's
So-
to
So if
build
a
the immune
baby-
system.
So if you know a baby does that, oh, now you know if you didn't know, that's how they build their immune system. But imagine now going and spraying everything of Lysol or wiping it down with some sort of other chemical bacteria killer. And now that baby is touching all of this stuff and it's now putting all that stuff towards its mouth.
You can't
One-
even consume that. You can't even touch it. You can't even smell it. But yet you spray it all over everything in your house and let your children crawl
It
over it, or
even
you walk
says-
barefoot in the house.
It even says do not consume if you eat, if you ingest it, like call a doctor,
And
call
your
a poison control.
And your skin is the biggest organ that you have to consume things with.
That is, yeah, your skin is the biggest organ, but nobody
So-
cares because we're touching everything. So what's
Yeah.
the problem with it doesn't matter if I just touch this
Or
and
I
wash
like
my
this
hands real quick.
lotion. It smells amazing. Or this cologne. Yeah. Okay, great. It smells amazing, but it's actually killing you
Yeah.
on a cellular level.
Yep.
Okay. So what things you need to purge are all the things we've talked about, including your household cleaners. The recipe book that we're going to put in here also gives you the household cleaner, the skincare oil, all the laundry detergent, everything that you need to remove yourself from having to go down those aisles and buy those toxic products and get your family into a state of health and alignment. So basically, get rid of everything that does not reproduce itself. Get rid of all of your toxic cleaners out of your house. You won't have to call poison control because your baby accidentally got into something because it's not there anymore. You've taken the proactive measures to make sure it's not there anymore. You will take all that money you spend on all these cleaners and all these skincare and hair care products and all of that, gone. You were saving so much money when you do it this way.
Yep.
And our cleaner, we make it once every 2 weeks, once a month, something like that.
Yeah, it's a spray we keep in a bottle. It takes about 5 minutes to make, and then it's
And it works better than anything I've ever bought from the
and it
store.
smells better too. Smells better and works better.
So anyway, that is your first your first purge is your food.
Yep.
So
So really think about everything, guys. This is a big one, right?
Mhm.
In my opinion, I think this is the biggest one because you don't even have to be in a relationship. You don't have to have material things, but you still gotta eat
mhm.
to survive. You want to live. You gotta eat.
Yep.
Gotta drink water. So like this is like honestly the first thing that you guys need to fix. And the test is you now knowing all the things that we just mentioned. And if you don't believe us, go look it up for yourself. Go look at the things we just talked about and you will find it true. If anything, we'll actually leave a couple links. There's a couple videos that go over the things that we just talked about, the literal examples, and you will see the science of it, how it works, how it's meant to be. So my question to you is, what are you going to do now knowing this? Because there's a quote of, I think it was by Einstein. If you continuously do the same thing over and over again, you are stupid.
It's
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. So how are you going to act now? What are you going to do now, knowing that all the things that most of you deem as normal are, and you now know that they're bad for you? What are you going to do now? Are you going to continue to eat them and tell yourself, well, I just have to wean off of it. And, I got to
And
take
baby
my time
yourself through
and
it.
trust me, I get it. I told myself for years that I was going to take it and eventually I just got to be ready. It took me years to get ready for that transition.
It just comes down to the level of fed upness.
But eventually we got to that point of, we just got to do it right now. It wasn't okay, today marks the day and okay, we're so excited to start. It was just like, what? I'm fucking sick of this right now. We're starting right now. So, and this is the challenge, is fast track to alignment. So if you all really here to get yourself into alignment as fast as possible, this is one of the most crucial steps. So are you going to continuously eat the bad things after everything we just talked about? knowing that they're bad, because then you are considered stupid. I don't want to call you names. I'm just giving you the literal definition of what it is that you're doing.
Doing
So,
something and knowing better is the
doing something-
definition of stupid.
So it's stupid. So are you going to continue to do that? Or are you going to make the proper changes for yourself to then become the example for your family and friends and the rest of humanity? Right? There's a big responsibility. This isn't just something that, oh, I'm so happy I'm doing this for myself. People are looking up to you. And the moment they see you making changes for yourself, that leaves an imprint on their consciousness. And they will always remember you for being the one that stood up for yourself. Think about that.
And then that gives them the courage to do the same.
People learn through watching sometimes. So this is, be the person that they watch.
Yep.
With that, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Peace.